the
That was
yeah.
yeah.
If there's any more conversation, we'll edit that out. But there's a funny at this point. I just kind of want to roll with it because I think the joke is funnier than correcting it. So, especially with this, right? Is we use words, and anime and manga has words that sound like other words, but they obviously have no context to a program that is trying to use the English language. So I'm not correcting this. A couple people have seen it, and I'm letting you know I am letting this joke go until the end of One Piece. I'm not correcting hockey. It's just going to be spelled like the sport. I laugh. I think it's hilarious because it just, you take the context of hockey every time you would use it for One Piece, and it shows up in a clip, and it's not going to fucking know hockey is H-A-K-I because that's not a real word. Oda made that up and said, I like this. This is my power system. It's thinking we're talking about hockey, and it's waiting for a Wayne Gretzky reference. It's not coming. But I'm also not correcting it because I think it's hilarious.
That's so funny.
I think
as someone whose part of his job is to correct captions, you're a piece of shit, and I hate you.
Hey man, look,
it sneaks its way through. It is always funny to see it in like, because I do a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff now with captions, and I'll be watching like Netflix or HBO, and something will pop up on there that's just completely wrong, and I'm like, homie, the person who was in charge of doing captions had like 20 things on his plate, and this was the 21st that had to be done the same day as like 5 of the other more important things, and he put that show on 2.5x speed and let AI do the he just went, I'm not checking this. I'm not gonna throw all men under the bus here.
I will.
As a man who does captions, I get it.
I go through and I correct other words because yes, there's other words where like it says it really quick. I just thought this is the first time going through and being like, okay, let me fix this here, let me fix that here. I also love it when it gives up and it's like somebody says something in the background, but they're definitively quieter, and the program just goes, I don't care what the fuck they said. I ain't even adding words to it. And I'm like, I feel you. But hockey is the one thing, I don't know why. Maybe like in the future I will change it and I will start actually correcting it to H-A-K-I. But it just sounds and looks way funnier to me when it just says, yeah, man, Luffy's hockey just isn't, it's not strong enough. And it's just, I'm just like, I'm going to start throwing in like a hockey stick emoji on the side of it. And one specifically makes
you gotta get the buzzer, you gotta get the, that buzzer like, ba 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 ba, but like NHL pops up. And that's it.
Like, that's my one correction when I go through and check the words. I'm like, nope, this is hockey. 1,000%.
Actually, you know what would be even more funny as a correction? If you threw in the emoji, like, hockey stick, and, like, just surrounded the word hockey. Yeah, I think that would just be more funny.
Not even the word.
Because that, to me, says you're very aware.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't just throw it into an AI generator. You actually were like, no, that's right.
It's just great. Like, it's just, oh man. All right, see, this is why, by the way, for everybody, appreciate everybody for listening. I want to keep shouting this in every show. We've done 70K across socials the past 2 weeks. Shout out to all of you that tune in, listen. Shout out to all of you that, like, for some reason it's okay to be mean towards me, but it's not okay to be mean towards Matt. Like, they respectfully disagree with you. They call me ugly, and I'm just calling all our listeners racist. Because it's okay to call me ugly, say shit about my forehead, and et cetera, et cetera. Matt, they're just like, actually.
He is retarded. Like, we got to give him, yeah. They're like, he's just dumb. He's just dumb. We got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I just like.
They might be racist too. Honestly, they might just be like, you know what, Matt's kind of a piece of shit and he knows it, but Justin needs to be taken down a peg because he's Justin.
My grandmother, she is since deleted, but my grandmother responded to one of them, and I had to call her and say, Grandma, you don't need to respond to anybody. I know there's mean things that are gonna be said. This is the world we live in. I don't care that they say mean things. I stand on everything.
It's kind of funny.
the most. I say this about sports. I say this about music. I say this about anime and manga. And I have Matt as a reference, Jake as a reference, Tony and Will. I might say shit nobody agrees with, and I'm fully okay with that. I don't feel like I say anything that I don't genuinely believe, and I am not just like, I'm not saying shit just to say it. I am saying things based on like, I truly believe this. I feel like I have evidence to back this up. You want to disagree with me? Cool. And that's all a part of talking, and that's how this shit works. But yeah, my grandma responded. She deleted the response, and I was like,
That's so funny.
You don't need to respond.
Honestly, though, like, let her, like, go to bat for you, man. Because I won't.
No, because then they're going to respond to her, and then I'm going to have to go find someone online and kill them, and I just don't need to do that.
That's easy, yeah.
That's
you just dox them.
That's when it all goes to hell, and it's like, well, Hard Foul had momentum, and then it just all went away because I went to prison for a life sentence.
Yeah, there was a healthy amount of momentum. There's a healthy amount of momentum with Hard Foul, and then all of a sudden he just started like hunting down children, and it was kind of crazy, entertaining. Kind of crazy.
It was just like, they gonna find me. I'm gonna get a Netflix doc though.
Oh, that's cool. That's money.
You think YouTube is gonna keep the money? Like if I go to prison for life and it's like, yo, this man like chased down like 3 of the online people and killed them in cold blood, and then I go away forever, but the channels go fucking crazy.
Oh,
do you
YouTube.
think YouTube is gonna keep the money? Or like,
Absolute. Yeah. Are you kidding me? You think this is the only blood money Google has? We're good.
oh shit.
I want you to know you won't see a penny of it.
No, but
And
like,
I think it's
gotta
worth
go,
it. I think it's
should
worth
at least
it.
get, like if A&M goes crazy, like you should be allowed to see the profits for that. Or is Google gonna screw you out of it?
Honestly, they can keep it. I don't want to be attached to it. You put that if they have to give it to me, I have a bank account in a lovely country called Switzerland.
There you go.
You can put it there. I don't need that on my taxes.
Like, so how'd you get this sudden increase in money? You know, he
What money?
One day.
What I don't know. What I don't know. Money it grows on trees. Apparently, I don't know.
But we are going to take some time later today to go through and discuss some of the comments that were said. I already sent Matt some of the ones earlier in the week.
They weren't bad. I actually kind of liked it. I agreed with
cool.
one of them. Yeah, I agreed with a few of them.
Y'all will learn though if you want to like, because Matt's genuine about this. He will discuss very slightly like power levels and rankings when we're on a microphone. Matt gives zero fucks about the actual comparing of power levels or how strong a certain character is. So,
Oh yeah,
those of y'all that are like trying to die on that hill,
go for it.
it's like,
Go for it. I'm as they did in the Civil War. I'm on a different hill watching this battle, and I'm sipping tea in a lawn chair watching people die over nothing.
because there's people that are
Well,
we're gonna read
something.
them off. There's people that are ready to argue about how strong and how strong Luffy is, how strong the crew is. Shout out, some of y'all have some actually good, interesting takes. I'm gonna bring up a very fun theory. It's not by anyone from our socials, but it's one that is growing on Reddit, and that is Emu is an ink human, and it is quite honestly
Ink?
an ink human. It is.
Oh, like he ate a fruit that's ink.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
literally the most interesting, stupid theory I've ever heard in my life. But it
Hit me.
sounds so Oda in One Piece that I'm like, fuck. Like, there's some real credibility there.
What is the ink fruit?
So, it is that essentially Emu has the ability. So they're an ink human, and they have the ability to basically write anything into existence. And it's taking off the idea that, well, Sun and Moon is too straight up, right? So, yeah, it's probably a moon-based power at its core, similar to how Luffy is Nika, Nika is sun-based. But still, in the story, Luffy is made of rubber or has a very rubbery material. And what does rubber do in a practical sense? Well, erasers are made out of rubbers. They erase things. They get rid of things. Ink writes things into existence. Emu sits at the top of the world. Emu was trying to write all of these new laws, right in the New World Order. And Nika, being rubber, erases things, basically invites chaos, gets rid of what the ink has created. Now again, there was probably and there's a really long fucking Reddit post because some guy's been on this theory for 2 years. I had his name written down somewhere. I don't have it on me at the moment, but if anybody's listening to this, it's a very common and very, very followed theory on Reddit. So I'm not trying to take credit for nobody else's shit.
Yeah.
But I was like, an ink-based person, and the same way Nika / Luffy are rubber-based, I was like, that sounds like just funny dumb enough for Oda. It just hit that niche of like, this is stupid in any other story. But this is his kind of stupid, and I'm just like, this kind of works. This kind of works. But yeah, so Emu is going to be an ink human, or a whatever. Again, it's probably going to be moon based at its core, but will have Emu's body will have the properties of an ink person, which is why we've gotten all of everything is artsy so far. I've seen Emu, like the seals, how crazy the girls say look, and it's these like really, I don't know what the word is, but the kind of drawings that they are so different. Like we've said multiple times, the girls say in Emu feel like they're from a different series. Like they're just so drastically different than everything else we've had in One Piece. That panel
That's
of
true.
Luffy staring them all down. It's like, if you just opened that page, like if you're reading One Piece in 2015 and then you just open that page and they're just like, hey, here's a spoiler, you're like, where the fuck did we go? I was just at Dressrosa and now I'm looking at a demon spider and a sandworm. I am lost as fuck. And like, don't worry, you'll find out in 10 years. And you're like, well, like, it's so yeah, the theory that Emu is a ink person or a moon base but with ink properties.
It's kind of cool. I still honestly I fuck with it. It's a good theory. I think I'm still holding out for the Blackbeard is the moon or has this connection to the moon. But I've also said that Blackbeard is going to quote unquote eat Emu and like ascend to like whatever that is. But that's very far away.
Oh yeah, again, I talked about it a little bit last week, but the more I think about it, I think, and I had the theory once that Blackbeard was going to become a natural disaster man, that he was going to take the other fruits, like he was going to take Aokiji's fruit, he was going to take Akainu's fruit, all these different ones that could just create natural disasters.
I mean, we had that up for a bit, honestly.
Yeah, and I almost feel like it has to be semi-true, mainly because when I was talking about all the antagonists last week, of like, oh, who could be the end game antagonist? You're gonna have to start clearing or figuring out a spot for these guys. You can't get to the last 20 or so chapters and it's like, well, Akainu's still here, and Emu's still here, and Garling's still here, and Blackbeard's still here, and Crossguild's still here. It's like, okay, who the fuck, like, what are we doing? Like, we just have too many qualified final villain candidates where, yeah, Blackbeard might have to start assimilating some people because you gotta wear down these numbers somewhere. And so... Yeah.
There was someone that did make a comment on one of the videos, and they were like, we're not even close to the end of the series yet. And I agree with that in this sense where it's like, I mean, like, we're close in the sense that this is like the final saga, but it's by no means the final arc. So, yeah, I think I'm intrigued to see where Elbaf goes, because I definitely was of the mindset that Elbaf was going to be like a tournament. But it seems to be this is the Holy Knight arc, right? And so I'm intrigued to see if we get if this is all intro to like Void Century, where we find out everything about Emu.
Yeah.
Also, wait, hold on, let me double check the official translation. Is it Emu or is it oh, maybe not. Maybe it was in the unofficial translation, but oh yeah. Allow Mu to show you the dominance of God. So maybe it's not Emu, it's Mu?
It could be. The problem with names, and because there's a lot of characters that have, like, depending on who's talking to them, like, again, we have Scopper, but they call what's in his name in Elbaf? They call him Yasan, or just, right?
It's Yasan, yeah, because it doesn't translate. But I've definitely seen Emu in the official translation.
Allow me to show you, yeah. Well, we could start here, because this is why you guys come to listen to us. Yes, because of TCB being a little, I don't want to say slow, but they've been getting them out, really, unfortunately, literally like an hour or two after we stopped recording.
They get them out when they get them out, man.
And so we're a chapter behind, but we're entertaining, so that's what you guys come to listen to us, even if the chapter's technically old.
That's what I'm known for. I am known for being entertaining.
Absolutely.
With a voice like this.
So we had a little bit of convo last week about, okay, what did Scopper do to fuck up Summers? And by all indications, this chapter is he is just strong as fuck and has insane fucking hockey, and that is the only real point we get to why he can actually hurt Summers. He also does the very One Piece old guy thing, which is he does something that clears 99% of the universe and goes, huh, I'm kind of old. Like, I'm rusty. It's like, fam, there's an Emperor's crew, no one could do shit. You sliced the motherfucker in half and went, man, I used to be good at this. Like, I went,
yeah.
Give me the previous, I always joke Naruto did this, that, like, we got the worst generation of ninja. Literally 20 years prior, motherfuckers were teleporting. We had the craziest Sharingan to ever exist. Like, the third Hokage had all 5 fucking chakra nades. Like, we just missed out on, like, the craziest generation ever. And it's like, okay, well, y'all generation just has Cherokees go wild. But One Piece does the same shit. We're like, all the old guys are like, yeah, we'd fuck you all up if we were in our prime. Like, you guys suck.
I know, we didn't need a devil fruit.
Yeah, they're just like...
Like, that was that Kaido hype. It's kind of interesting. They animated kind of like a segue, kind of not a segue.
God Valley?
Yeah, they just animated God Valley. And so, like, you get to see the Rocks Pirates doing their thing. And I was like, this is really interesting to see this crew that's, like, for all intents and purposes, not fruit-based at this point. And they're like,
correct.
I'm definitely getting this. I want this thing. I want that thing. And we've theorized back then too of like, oh, they're going for fruits. Mm-hmm. Like the treasures are fruits. So yeah. I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
That's an insane.
It's all about hockey. But if I want an edge, maybe I eat a fruit.
I think it's that time Big Mom and probably Shiki are the only fruit users. Well, we don't know shit about Zebek, but those are probably the 2 confirmed fruit users at that time.
But we definitely think Whitebeard got his at God Valley too, right?
I'm inclined to think so. It's tough because the anime make those in the one-liner, which I wanted to go, I remember, because I saw this the other day, and I wanted to go see the official again. Because they don't call themselves a crew. But I thought in the manga they did.
No. I mean, it might have been like an addition, but like they're barely a crew. I mean, they're just kind of. I think it's straight up. They straight up say it in the anime clip, right?
Yeah, Whitebeard goes, "Hey,
we're not
go."
a crew.
And he immediately checks himself and goes, "What the fuck? I don't work for you, Rocks. Fuck you." And I was like, "Okay."
I think that is in the official. Let me. It was a while ago though, so I gotta look up.
I wanted to look it up before we started, but I didn't. But those shots though, and that scene is so cool because it does feel, and I never know how to explain these correctly. Some people, like some either drawings or animations, just capture moments exceptionally well, and I don't really know like what the skill is. It's just you can tell if it's there or not. Watching, and that clip's only like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, but seeing like the Rocks Pirates and then seeing the Roger Pirates, which I don't think we're ever going to get more than 3 at this point, or 4. I know, because Crocus isn't even in that scene. So I'm like, because Crocus doesn't.
He joins
join
after.
until afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, we get the 3 Roger Pirates that matter. I know there's a Fishman. I don't know what the fuck he does.
I was gonna say this one pops up all the time too. The big guy with the weird looking nose.
Yeah.
He always shows it, like the bald one. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And I just don't know what the fuck they do, because every time they're like, yo, look what the Roger Pirates are doing. It's like, it's Roger, Rayleigh, Scopper, and then everybody else might as well be background besides exactly like Kid, Buggy, and Shanks.
Yeah.
And then you get Garp, who is hilarious because they definitely just used the same scene again of him jumping from the ship. Just they did it with young Garp instead of old Garp. And I'm like, I feel you. But you felt like that moment, like the gravity of like, oh, yeah, these are in the Holy Knights, they're like, these are the heaviest hitters the world has ever known. And they're just on this random island in the West Blue. Like, imagine being a rookie pirate and you're just sailing and you just turn to your right and you go, oh, fuck. Garp, Roger, Zebek, Holy Knights, Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mike, like,
yeah,
guys, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I know we had dreams and aspirations, and that's all cool, but like, no. So, shout out to that team. That team is dope. Summers is, or not Summers, sorry. Scopper's fucking him up while going, you know, hey, I'm not as good as I used to be. Where is the cut Summers directly in half, which is fantastic. Now this what I was trying to figure out, and no, he just cuts him.
Yeah, he just cuts him. Chopper's also like, I think it's interesting that Chopper's like, how is he doing it?
Yo, Chopper, he wanted medically know. He's like, how did you just make immortality hurt? He's like, I figured this shit out. I become the world's greatest doctor. I thought he was skywalking for a second, because Summers makes all the thorns show up from the floor. Mm-hmm. And so in the one panel where it's like Crimson Lotus Hell, I was like, can you skywalk? But then it makes more sense. You go down a panel and it's like, no, he just cuts them all up, which plays into the Mountain Eater theme. That's just what your boy does. He is just violent as hell to the landscape.
Oh, yeah.
But he fucks up Summers with relative ease. And when we get to the comments later, for the people that are saying, well, they're not Admiral level, I don't agree with that comment, but I think I understand if you see this exactly of like an old legend fucking them up. I get where you could make that hypothesis of like, okay, they're not Admiral level, they do just have a unique power. I don't agree, but I could understand just from seeing this.
I mean, yeah, we will get into it later, because I'm also like, hey, your devil fruit power is a part of you, so that should absolutely be counted towards your power.
And when you have thorns and you're immortal and you regenerate, okay, that puts you on the top 1% of the world.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite One Piece thing. It's like, if he just didn't have that thing that makes him him. He'd be so weak. And I'm like, you're right. What are we saying? Oh man, you take away immortality and then what? Then he wouldn't be a fucking problem. Like, I don't know. You're right, yeah. But he does, so he's strong. Like,
1000%.
Anyway, I also think Summers is a bitch. Look at him.
Enjoy this. It's not Robin.
Oh yeah, no. I agree. I can poke a little bit of fun and then be like, but we do bond over the fact that this guy's a fuck. This guy's a piece of shit. Ugly, dog shit, taken out by someone 6 times his age. Like,
we don't know. Hey, he might be the old guy in this.
Honestly, this might be elder abuse, and
That's what I'm like.
As someone who is ageist, I appreciate it.
And see, now watch. I'm gonna make a clip. No, see, that's the funny thing. We talked about AI a little off mic. The way it names certain clips is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Because it doesn't have
Oh
a
yeah,
filter.
dude. AI is almost very good, and I love living in this period of AI
Oh yeah.
where it's almost good, and you're like,
We're almost there.
if only it was a little bit better. And I'm like, nah, it's perfect the way it is right now.
I love my flawed AI.
I love it. It's still learning. It's like a toddler. It's like, hey, why did the toddler play in traffic? The ball went that way. There's no wisdom to it yet. It's so good. Ugh, it's the best.
Then we get
Anyway,
to,
sorry. That's
No, you're good. You're good. Then we get to they are burning down the library,
yeah.
which this is gonna be a consistent theme. I love that Oda's never left this. That one of the most pivotal points of One Piece is how is this story going to be remembered in world? Like, history is such a huge part because the Gorosei and the world government and Imu have done so much to shape history. I don't want to speak for other parts of the world, but like in America, you know, you grow up, you go to public school, you get a history book, and you're like, okay, cool, I bet that's that's how things happen. It was just like they wrote it in the book. That's history. And sometimes it's not the most factual, or sometimes countries want to paint themselves in a much nicer light. So maybe they take a word here, there, or, erase 400 years. Who knows? But
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, what part of the U.S. are you talking about? Because I think there's a good amount of them that don't think the Civil War was fought over
hey, man, we just tried to help people out.
racism.
We just tried to help people out. We found a rock, and they said they were sick, and so we just wanted, share some medicine. That's all. Christopher Columbus. You think there's a better discoverer than Christopher Columbus? Not in my history.
Oh, yeah. He sailed the Gulf of America, and
Yeah.
and that was
He found
he
the One
did
Piece.
that. True. And they somehow infected it with disease. Good. Okay.
Get devil fruits.
The devil fruits were the white people we met along the way.
Oh fuck. But
Honestly, we'd have been fine if we didn't write it down.
This
You don't have to write everything down. As a white man,
is true.
just don't write it down. Anyway, keep going.
This goes for a lot of people that tweet stuff. You do not have to tweet everything you think.
Hey, guess what, y'all? Did you know that oversharing's a thing? Spoken from a guy whose ancestors overshared the shit out of everything. Did you know you didn't have to be proud about being an asshole? Anyway, move on. Moving on. Bleep it.
I get about one Larry segue a month, and I'm like, man, do I take it? I can only run through that door so fast. And then But I love that like Oda's not willing to drop this. Like the history of the world, what people know, what people remember, that is going to be until the very end of One Piece, and I love that.
Yeah, history is perspective.
Yes, and history is written by the winners, which is
history is part of history is perspective because you're right. The winners do write it. Yeah. And sometimes in modern history, the losers don't lose all the way, and they also know how to write. Yeah. So that's a perspective thing also.
1000%. Something I can't say on a microphone. Anyway.
Say it and bleep it, you coward.
I just...
You won't edit this?
No, so what's nice is now the program that I'm using to edit is clutch as fuck because... I used to have this where I was like marking stuff, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Because that was easier for me to be like, if I knew like I said some wild shit, or I think it was a couple episodes ago we had to bleep out like a minute of you, and I would just mark it. And now I just go to the time and I'd listen to it. Now, it tracks every single fucking word said, and it auto-transcripts. So if I know, hey, nice. Yo, that wild shit I said, I can just type it up in the search bar and it takes me right there.
Good.
Also, it's really clutch if you just think, yo, was I wild in this episode? And you just type in a handful of words and like, all right, cool, I didn't say that. All right, we're good.
Matt says a slur at 30 minutes. Oh, yeah, there it is. There's the rant.
So, damn it. But they're burning the library. Everybody's crying. And the Holy Knights, to their credit, they are people of their word. They said, hey, yo, library's burning. Save the kid. We don't need to kill the kid. Library's on fire.
So like, not a single lie was said. They were like, these fucking dirty giants think they can read and be educated. I'm going to burn it to the ground. Then they can work for me.
Amen. Y'all don't need your history. Don't worry. We're going to tell you who you are. Don't worry. This has always worked. Historically, has never failed. Let me tell you who you are, and I will give you a job.
Let the people in power tell you exactly who you are and where you fit on the totem pole.
Oh, fuck. I love that here. So she comes back.
It's been a rough year.
And we get, and this is impressive because I had, not a tear, but I had a genuine like, oh man. Because we got baby Robin 2.0. And after already experiencing Robin's story, I would have said, and I say this with all the Straw Hats, all their backstories, I don't want repeats. As good, as sad, like give me something different, right? Now, depending on how technical you want to go, because I've seen people make this argument before, you could argue Brook and Robin have end-wise, or where they ended up, was essentially the same story. They lost everybody they grew up with, everybody was dead, and they woke up all alone. Brook did it at really fucking old, Robin did it as an 8-year-old.
It's like, I was about to say, Brook was 90?
When he found himself? Yeah, probably. Because he was...
I think he's like late 80s when he finds himself, but...
Yeah, because he was lost for what? How long was his soul out there for?
50 years.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I think he's 90 now.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's like, oh, I'm sorry that I'm alive. Like, if I wasn't alive, all the books would be burning. And I'm just like, fuck, man, he did it again. I just found out this kid's name 2 chapters ago. And now she's like, I'm sorry that I'm alive. And I'm like, fuck.
I'm like, Jesus.
And then we get Scopper. And Scopper's continuing his, let me tell you why they waited 1,100 and something chapters before they let me out. Because I would have ended this story way the fuck long ago. It's a good thing they're respectful of eras. Like, the old guys in One Piece just don't want to interfere, because they could have fucked this whole story up, like, 1,000 chapters ago. Like, with any major event that's happened in this current timeline since Luffy became a pirate, if any of the old legends wanted to be like, no, or just interfere, we'd have an entirely different storyline. So shout out to them for not fucking up another person's story. But Scopper's pissed. He's like, you don't have the right to take away any of these things, their culture, their history, their children. And Gunko shows that not scared. Scared as fuck of Nika, not scared of Scopper. Goes, yo, you resisting, I just let this child live. I will kill all the children. Like, you come at me, I'm not even like, no fucks given, we killing all the kids. And then we get Future Sight, which, again, something that will just always look cool. Because Gunko takes specifically Scopper's kid as a hostage and puts a... This panel was made for me, by the way, when she holds the sword up to his throat. I'm like, this is the most realistic scaling Oda's ever done, and I appreciate him tremendously for this.
This whole arc. This whole arc, yo.
I know, but this one was like, okay, cool, yeah, like, I'm gonna stab him. It's like, it's basically like having a pencil because he's a fucking giant, but I'm gonna stab him. And I'm like, thank you, Oda. I appreciate you. You listen to my text messages. But then Scopper goes and he future sights and he realizes, I'm not gonna make it. I just watched my own child get stabbed and know that it don't matter how strong or how fast I am. He goes back and he flashbacks to when child was born. Excuse me. Excuse me. And he's happy. He's excited. And then we get mom crying, and Scopper does the I give up, because again, he sees his child get skewered. Jeez, I feel like the official's even more violent than the fucking TCB scan. Do you have the chapter up right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you on the official?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the official, the stabbing feels like, I don't know why, the TCB one...
Bro, you have to read the official more. It's so peak.
Like, this just looks like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
So he... Anyway, so he gets... So, child, Scopper sees child get stabbed, gives up, and then Gunko stabs Scopper with the arrows. He apologizes because he chose his child over Elbaf, which... Again, common theme. I forget who said it first, but a child is always going to be someone's weakness. Then we get Matt's, if you need lotto tickets, just ask Matt. So Matt, and in the middle of last week's episode, was just like, you know what? I think Brooke is Oda's favorite straw hat. He just keeps throwing stuff on Brooke. Like, the original
That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. They've been here forever. He's like, I just think he really likes Brooke. And he just keeps adding stuff and doing more things with Brooke. And then this chapter drops again in real time for us, like 2 hours later. Daddy and Gunko loses it. And Gunko goes, like a certain group chat last night goes, Daddy, and the word doesn't quite click. And then she starts thinking, you know, what is this memory? And we get, yo ho ho. Excuse me. What did you think when you just saw this panel exactly? I want to know, what was your thoughts?
That Brooke is Oda's favorite guy. I honestly, like, I saw this and unironically, you, I think, had said in an SBS that they had given a little bit of Brooke, like, what was Brooke doing before?
Yeah, he was a...
And I said if it's in an SBS, it's not, like, it might be canon, but it's not a part of the story, so it doesn't matter. To me.
That's fair.
To me, it doesn't really matter. This... tells me that Brooke's backstory matters. And I'm like, let's go. It also shows this, like, attachment to Soul King that Gunko's been being teased at for the last few chapters. And I went, Gunko is way more interesting. I always thought Gunko was interesting, especially after being like, oh, she killed the King of Alabasta, not Emu. And then this happened, and I went, fuck yeah. Gunko is important, like very important.
This is
10th Straw Hat confirmed. No.
I have two things.
No.
Here. This is why, and I said this last week too, this is why I don't mind being wrong with One Piece, and why Oda does simple better than maybe any author, arguably ever. I probably don't read enough to make that statement, but especially in the space of mangaka, why he's just better than everybody is because I've said it, I know Jake said it, I know Matt said it, I know almost anyone's like, I don't need no fucking long lost relative. I just don't. Not everybody needs.
I don't
a
think.
Picture.
I was gonna say I don't. I'm not gonna say it's long lost relative. I think Gunko was the princess of a kingdom, and Brook was one of that kingdom's knights, and so Brook was like a friend.
So
that was kind of that's I think like my hot take on it was it's I never want huh?
Because she got triggered over the word father and daddy.
Yeah, but like if she was torn away from her dad's hands, right? Triggered over daddy, and then like part of her they say music when you're this could mean something, it could not mean something, but music is one of those things you find yourself being attached to when someone has like Alzheimer's or dementia. Music is what kind of brings them back to a time. So the daddy trigger goes to like her being taken away, and then part of this story is the musician, right? She's like, oh, I have a little bit of that music in there. Mainly, this might be also me coping. I also don't like Long Lost Relative. We got it last arc.
Again, I would say I don't like the concept. This just weirdly works because the other thing.
I also feel like Brooke would have recognized her.
If she's a kid, not necessarily.
I think Brooke would have been. I think Brooke would have been more. If it was his daughter, he would be more. I feel like we'd know if Brooke had a daughter.
I don't think so, because we didn't know. Now this is really early on in the series. Luffy did not tell anybody he had a brother, or that he had two brothers, even though he thought one was dead. He never told anybody, oh yeah, my grandpa's Garp. Like, it weirdly works with them because we never get this kind of information from them. And do they know each other? I think vaguely, which is why Brooke makes the comment, could that be?
I was like, the resemblance is uncanny. Which I think it's like interesting. I think it can go either way. I wouldn't mind it though if he was just like in charge of guarding the princess, and that was like his job. So like, yeah, like he's part of like the royal guard, and he just had a really fond connection to this little girl.
So, and this technically would work for either, whether it's the princess of the kingdom we had a protectorship over, and I want to use that word specifically because my follow-up comment, this was not mine, but I did hear it, and another YouTuber said this, and I was like, fuck, I think you're right, which made me even believe more that he's potentially her dad. He ain't asked to see your panties. And who would be the only... If you're Brooke, and that's your shtick, and now... To the people out there, and because I know y'all exist, I know there is people that no longer like Brooke or Sanji shtick, the perverted guy, and I get it. It's been used a million times. I understand people that don't like it. And I personally, I don't really care for it, and I feel like Oda one-liners with Brooke all the time, but I feel like he's even pulled back on Sanji the last couple of years of like, okay, we don't just need to be a pervert. We can be...
I mean, like, we get it.
Yeah. But this would be a actual narrative point to like, oh, yeah, he's not going to ask his daughter, can I see your panties? And it's one of the only girls we've ever seen Brooke not do that to. And I was like, fuck. Again, I don't like Long Lost Relative. This would uniquely work, especially because she's also the only one that we don't have attached to a family. All the other Holy Knights, we got a family, we got a last name. We don't with Gunko. So if anybody was going to be related to someone else or not a true Holy Knight in terms of being a celestial dragon who got turned into one, now, if she was royalty, to your point, then she could have been pulled, and that's how she got involved with the Holy Knights. And I'm cool with either dynamic, realistically.
I think I'm more inclined to go that route, because again, we just had a father-daughter reunion in Egghead, right? And I think it would be a little redundant, and if Jake was here, I think he would agree with me. Jake and I think, can see eye to eye on redundancies in One Piece. I think it would be redundant to do, Brooke goes, yeah, I have a daughter, but I am trying to get back to a whale. For me, I think this kind of ties to, and Egghead kind of set this up a little bit also, of like, what is a country willing to do to stay in Celestial Dragon good graces? And what happens when they don't go with it? And either punishing the daughter or selling the daughter to said celestial dragons and stuff. And maybe she maybe she proves that she has conqueror's hockey, or proves that she can be something else, right? And that's what saves her from awful shit. She could also be a byproduct of awful shit, because further down on this panel it looks like Imu possesses her and uses her as a mouthpiece to talk to the other ones. So Gunko honestly could be the mouthpiece of Imu, and that is why she would be in that throne room when Alabastus King is in there. Cobra, yeah. She's the mouthpiece and the sword of Imu, which is why she doesn't really have a last name.
I'm going to be upset with that. Now, and I saw some people get confused about this too. So this is our, I think, third time ever seeing. By the way, I love what the anime did. The anime is hilarious because we don't really know what Imu is, and so they give it this really fuzzy voice that is distorted, and it's we don't know what the fuck this is, so here you go. And I'm like, yeah, that's about as good as you can do. I'm like, I get it.
They're like, we got a year of content ahead of us. We have no idea who the fuck this is. They've been doing that since Reverie, by the way.
Oh, buzzing out Imu's voice?
because they needed someone to say Vivi, or not Vivi, Lily, yeah. And so it's just this like,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Like, what are you gonna do? We don't know anything.
You don't know anything. Yeah, you don't know anything.
It's our third or fourth time getting dialogue from the character, and but this I thought was great because this brought me back to the beginning of Elbath. What is taking so long? Fucking Summers. He's just like,
Yeah,
Ow.
it's exactly where he should be. Like, put him in a fucking barrel with the Mudman.
did you like
Let him-
Hidan? From Naruto, did you like Hidan?
Yeah.
Like, you personally, did you like Hidan? Not, was he, like, good for the story? Like, did you personally?
Oh, no. I thought Hidan was great.
Okay.
This guy's not.
But this is a Hidan moment. This is, fuck.
This is an attempt at what was fucking awesome, by the way. Again, this is no slight at Oda. This is no slight at Oda. Summers can catch these hands in real life. That's all I'm saying.
An unlikable character is a
Oda. Oh yeah. No. I just, for anyone out there that thinks I'm like dogging on Oda for making Summers, no. I'm dogging on him because I'm in it, and I'm like, this guy definitely farts into a glass and sniffs it, like, and that's his Wine Wednesday.
Props to you. I just
Like,
Hidan was the character that taught me, and I don't, outside of manga exactly, like, I don't read a ton of other, like, my bookshelf behind me are all like self-help and business books, so most of my fiction is
yeah.
manga. And
Oh, you like fiction? Don't you have The Art of the Deal on there?
yeah, go fuck yourself. But Hidan, I remember, always threw me off because, like, it was the first time I ever looked at a character. I remember his first scene, if you get to go relive something from the first time in Naruto again, him getting his head cut off and then just screaming, ow. I was like,
Oh, it's
fuck.
so hype. That's so hype.
Man, that would hurt a lot if your fucking neck was just separated from the rest of you. And it's like, he's like, and he expresses it. And a lot of times characters explaining their powers sounds stupid or corny, or it's like it's an anime trope. But him going, do you know what the fuck it's like to have your head cut off? And I was like, hey, you got a point, man. Like, my bad. Like, there's a reason you're just supposed to die, because this shit would hurt. And that's all I thought when I saw Summers. Emus is going, why are you taking so long? And Summers is there, fucking, like, half his body is on the other side, and he's got thorns everywhere. He's just like, ow.
Yeah, good. You old fucking bitch.
At this moment, oh, Killingham calls him Emu. So maybe it's Emu's.
Okay, allow Mu to show you the dominance of God. I wonder if, like, Emu, adding that I is like a respect thing.
Yeah.
And
Emu
maybe,
is just what they call themselves.
yeah.
At this moment, the Holy Land is a sea of fire. We need greater numbers. And then allow Mu to show you the dominance. Now, this I thought was really cool because, again, this is really simple. It was already established, but we got it from the other side's perspective, which is we were told, which I'm now 100% convinced, in the very beginning of Elbath, we get that narrator sign that says, hey, don't hang around too long because time is funny here. They've been on Elbath for what feels like less than a day, but to the outside world, time is definitely moving differently.
Mm-hmm.
Elbath is on its own time zone, its own whatever. And that's why Emu's pissed off. Because Emu sent Holy Knights going, oh yeah, they'll take care of this shit. Boom, boom, boom. Now it's actually been I don't really want to guess because the guess could be totally irrelevant. If it could be a couple days, it could be a week. Just time is moving faster outside of Elbaf. So if it's been even 2 days, right? Like this has been taken over the course of a day on Elbaf, but it's 2 days on the outside world, and the Emu's like, what the fuck? Everything's on fire. I sent you guys to go take care of this shit real quickly, and y'all are dragging ass. Which I thought was cool because I thought the Straw Hats were going to get penalized, and they still might, from time working funny. But in reality, Emu and the Holy Knights are the ones getting fucked up right now because of time moving funny.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't pick up on that. I kind of like that theory. I kind of like it a lot, actually.
I just don't want to guess exactly how time's going to work. I'll let Oda just fill me in. Because, again, it's not...
Maybe it's not significant, but, like, maybe a day on Elbaf is, like, 2 days.
Yeah, if it's something like that.
Right? And so it's like, this really took you guys longer than a day to figure out. You're kidnapping kids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or, more importantly, you guys were going to get Loki. What the fuck happened? Because originally it was like, oh, we're not even going to be able to teleport the kids back. We got to take the long way back to Elbaf or to Marijois. Mm. And so it's like they get out of Elbaf's time zone and then they got to go up the red line, and like it was going to be a whole chore.
Yeah.
You know.
They would have really dragged ass.
Yeah, they really dragged ass. No, I think this is... I like that Marijois is still under siege.
Who do you think's attacking, though?
The Holy Land is a sea of fire.
Because I have a fun, not totally my theory, because it's a thought, but somebody else articulated it a bit better, so I don't want to feel like I'm stealing, but... It's the idea that it's not really a A-level threat, but it's that their only defense right now is Akainu, and talk about the worst fucking person to have to defend you.
I was just about to say, like, I was like, this has to be, like, Akainu like either defending or attacking, and I'm going to say defending against something.
Yeah. He could also...
Also, wait, but like, remember the Sabo is also fire.
Sabo's
so
also fire.
This could be like, it could be like Sabo's, you know, the Flame Emperor shows up and it's Sabo versus Akainu in the land of Marijois,
which is hell.
Which would be kind of metal.
It's what so.
Sabo really goes, you think fire's hotter than magma? All right, let's go.
It's interesting, and it plays into the time, is because it could if there wasn't some kind of trippy amount of time on Elbaf, the revolutionaries couldn't be a part of it. Because we just saw them, like, Sabo's recovering.
You're right,
they would not have been able to make it there in time. But if time's funny, okay... If you have an extra day to suit up, recover, and now we're going to go attack Marijois. And again, the only person we got defending is... I saw some people say Akainu went semi-rogue because the Celestial Dragons are giving him shit when he was trying to defend Kuma. I think that's asking for a lot. Akainu's a dick and probably hates the Celestial Dragons if you really like... Because... I think the problem with Akainu's character right now is that we have the Straw Hats perspective. So Akainu was asshole number one. But he's really just doing his job. Yes, he's a little aggressive, but he is technically, to the world's view, this is their hero. Like, this is the guy who's going to make sure none of the big bad pirates come and do big bad pirate shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he looked like a demon when on the fucking during the war on the transponders. Now I'm like, yeah, but that demon thing is on the world side. They also saw Whitebeard break everything, and they're like, oh, well, that demon's not on our side. So I'll take Magma Fucker if my alternative is some jackass earthquaking my island. they saw Blackbeard, and it's like, okay, well, Blackbeard's not on our side. So again, I will take the angry magma asshole, because I also know it's the very human argument of, it's like, well, they got a really big gun, so I want a really big gun.
Yeah.
We're gonna make me feel comfortable. So I don't think Akainu would go rogue, but Akainu defending you is hilarious, because he is the most offensive devil fruit in the world. You know what that's not? The most defensive devil fruit. It's very awkward to fight people back with magma. It's like, hi, got him, coach. Also, I cleared 3 houses, but don't worry, you guys. We'll get right on that.
Yeah, also, like, let's not forget what he did to Punk Hazard.
Yes.
When he goes all out.
Yeah. He is a hazard. Like, he is just...
Which, I kind of like the fact that he's just is like, it's my job to defend you, but I'm chaotic justice. So I am going to destroy all of Marijois to save you.
Yeah. And we don't know where Shamrock is, but even in... We don't really have a case for him, but, like, if he's anything remotely close to Garling, Garling did some... It wasn't at the Holy Land, obviously, but he did some self-sabotage during the God Valley incident. He was just like, yeah, I'm going to just kill him. Like, he didn't know who the fuck he was killing. He didn't care who he was killing. He just said, I'm going to just kill him. And so, you don't have these people that are like, let me do this politely or correctly. And I think it's going to show, again, Egghead. They were trying to defend Egghead. And look what happened there. Well, it exploded. We got the great shot of Kizaru looking at it going, hey, yeah, man, I don't know what the fuck you wanted here, bro. Like, we had Goro say, I was shooting light beams. Luffy was fucking 100 feet tall and a giant. This motherfucker's a robot. Lucci's breaking shit. Zoro's breaking shit. Like, what the fuck did you want? Like, all these people in one room together, and you didn't want an earthquake to happen? Like,
yeah.
Kizaru by himself, great cleanup man. He could be so efficient. Anybody else, like, what is Fujitora supposed to do? Like, how is he supposed to casually defend an area without destroying it? And I'm not just saying him dropping.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Supposed to do?
Gravity is pretty broken, as of stated.
Yeah, like Green Bull at least leaves you with some vegetation. He might break everything in the process, but at least there's some pretty flowers left over. So we got that going for us.
God.
Because it's going to drop literally once we're done recording. What do you think is going to happen in 1150 with Emu?
I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see. I wonder if we'll see, because there's this kind of like hockey thing coming off of Gunko.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we'll get to see Gunko be like a conduit for some crazy power, you know?
I think Gunko's going to do essentially serve the same role that the robot did. So like the robot had Joy Boy stored hockey in it, and that was enough to shoot off all of the 5 elders. I think Gunko's going to do something comparable in terms of, again, like you said, it's going to be the conduit for it, and she's going to shoot off a whole bunch of hockey and power and scare the fuck out of everybody. I don't know if Oda wants Emu to rampage for a chapter or 2 chapters, because I'm convinced we're not going to have a climactic fight in Elbaf anymore, but we are going to see Emu and Nika see each other for the first time in well over 1,000 years. Like, Luffy is going to show up because Scopper is falling all the way down to the underworld, and when they see him fall, that will be Luffy's time to go, oh, shit must be real. Especially if he fought Scopper very briefly and would go, oh, well, if they fucked him up, shit must really be real. Like, and so Luffy making his way back up to the top and in Nika form staring down Gunko possessed by Emu, I think you are going to get a again, they're gonna meet for what the characters do would be kind of weird because they view each other drastically differently. Because Luffy literally doesn't know Emu exists, and Emu is terrified of him, which is great. Luffy's the boogeyman.
Can I give you my theory on where Elbaf's going now?
Go for it.
I think that Emu is going to kidnap these 10 kids and teleport them to Marijois. I think that the Holy Knights, specifically Summers and Killingham, get sent back, but before Gunko can, Luffy is able to like break the spell, and then like Gunko gets stuck in Elbaf. Now we have missing kids in Marijois. We have the Straw Hats that got kind of messed up. We got the Giants who got really messed up. And motivation to go to Marijois, as well as a guide that can guide them to Marijois. If this is sounding kind of familiar, I think this is going to be Ain's Lobby 2.0.
So I love all of that, but I will ask you.
Yeah.
Do you think that is flying a little too close to the? Because that's theoretically that's our last scene, with the exception of we get like something in Laugh Tale, but I think Laugh Tale is gonna be more of a we made it, we get resolution. I don't think there's gonna be like a big conflict on Laugh Tale or anything. I think it's literally the end game. Going to Mary Joie would be the theoretic. It's the last war. It's the, it's all that shit, right? It's the last fight. It's the last war. It's the last story.
Yeah.
Are you, as someone who says, because when we get to the comments of like where you think One Piece is in terms of last saga / last arc, that would have to be your last arc, no?
I don't think so, because it's not them waging war on Marijois. It's them infiltrating Marijois in the same way that Whole Cake was an infiltration and not a fight against Big Mom. In the process of getting these kids back, I think Luffy, meets Emu. But more importantly, the Holy Knights get crippled along the way. The giant kids get brought back. Gunko's freed. It's a big loss for Marijois. And I think in that moment, they seek out Blackbeard. And these are the because Blackbeard really wants to be considered, he wants Pirate Island to be legitimized, right? And so Blackbeard is now in the story, in like a forefront of the story. He has access to the Holy Knight magic system, which is what we thought he was going to do. I still think he eats Garp to get that hockey. So he has the most powerful fruit, the most powerful hockey, and then like whatever the Holy Knights can give him. / Emu can give him. Giving him basically like he becomes the most powerful in that sense. But in the context of like this, I think it'd be really like, I think if we're introducing the Holy Knights, let's tease out this next part, you know what I mean? Because remember, Water 7 is a 2-part arc.
Yeah.
Right? Or a 2-part saga, right? You have your Water 7, which is like a mystery. Mm-hmm. And this would be like Elbaf is kind of almost set up for like the giant civil war and all this is kind of like just set up for this next thing that could potentially be Ainz Lobby Part 2. Like, we know there needs to be an invasion of Marijois. It's just a matter of when. But, like, this to me goes, oh, well, okay, so Loki is now a player in this, and we can see Loki do things.
That's because Loki would be hyped to
But
go just because the kids are there.
Exactly, right? It's a good way for, like, Loki to be seen more favorably amongst the Giants. I can also be kind of shooting a little too close to the belt right now. I just think it's kind of interesting that everything seems to be kind of aligning in a way that would set up affect, like, we don't know how close they are to the red line. They might be very close to the red line.
Because I'm trying to remember. Well, no, because the whole axis is broken, right? Because the OG map was Ainz Lobby, Marineford, and Impel Down were like a triangle to each other. But now old Marineford's gone. Ainz Lobby is also completely destroyed.
Ainz Lobby, they Buster called it. Yeah, Ainz Lobby got nuked.
Yeah, and so it's just Impel Down, and that was on the. That's borderline, but that's all Grand Line stuff. So yeah, that's still all far the fuck away.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're just in an entirely different spot. Okay. So the red line's in play.
Well, I mean, like, here's another thing too, right? We know that Vivi is somewhere close.
Yes.
And so, I mean, it's been talked about for a bit that Vivi will get the Pawpaw fruit. And that she's the 10th member of the Straw Hats. If they get access to the Pawpaw fruit, they can just teleport to Marijois. You know, it doesn't... She's been there. Technically, Kuma's been there. So, like, it doesn't even need to be Vivi, right? It could just be Kuma gets activated by... Or saved a little bit... Or Vegapunk is able to, like, do something and fix Kuma. And Kuma goes, okay, and then knocks him all the way back to Marijois.
I would... And this is my own little... tiff with that is I would rather be Vivi.
I'd rather it be Vivi too.
Are my same feelings on Guy. Like, you served as a really cool character, you served your purpose, it's okay to die. Like, you're just, everything was great moment, great storytelling, great character, fucking 10 out of 10, man, you did it. It's time to move on. I really don't want Kuma to live forever. Sorry, Bonnie, like, just your dad needs to die. Your dad had a great life.
I agree. Or leans into the fact that, like, he's a robot. So, yeah. Like, your dad's gone, but, like, maybe he's a cyborg that, like, we know there's a robot race out there, and so now he's part of that robot race, and
it's weird with, like,
Godspeed,
because theoretically, I mean, they're probably in Marijois. You have the Pacifista, and now what's the new one's called? The PX7s or PX3, something like that.
Yeah.
So you got all those fuckers, and so again, I'm cool as fuck with Vivi getting it, and I have come around on Vivi she's always made a ton of sense, but I have my own personal, like, makes a lot of sense for her to be the last member. If she gets the fruit, dope. I do like certain fruit successions. Like, I've always liked Colby getting Aokiji's fruit. That's probably less likely to happen now, but hey. I am curious.
Yeah.
Brought up Blackbeard. What the fuck do you do with Blackbeard if he gets the whatever that is that Emu gives people to be immortal? Because then his fruit is a full Logia with the power to block everything. Like, he becomes
Yeah.
theoretically unbeatable, or as unbeatable as anyone's ever been in this verse.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like
I
what
would
the fuck
have,
do you do with him?
and I love I just love the fact that he cheats his way to it. He just pirates his way to being the most powerful thing in the world, and I totally fuck with that, man.
I get it. It's
Like, I think it's so in character for him.
no, it's great.
Yeah, anyway, but yeah, I just had that like little premonition. I'm like, honestly, this is kind of feeling a bit hopeless, and I kind of fuck with it.
No, it's it is
Elbaf
so-
would be so sick for an arc, because like initially we're gonna have no way of getting. So this is the other thing too, right? Like maybe they don't get Vivi's fruit, and they go, the kids are in Marijois. We gotta head them off before they get there. So they have to sail to the red line, scale the red line, and then cross the red line to get to
yeah.
Marijois, right?
Fuck, that's not just.
And it's far as fuck, man. Unless you're riding giants who are like running, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, also like, don't they have ships that fly? Like
They fly on
Elbaf
the
Tech?
rainbows. I don't know how
They fly on the rainbows, but like they have those island cloud ships. But or maybe those just work in Elbaf. Now I'm not sure.
I don't want to say yes or no. Now, you probably get more distance though being in their ship naturally because their ships are just they're just bigger and so they're going farther by the same extent. But I also again the trip to Marijois, I don't think Oda's gonna super stress, which I don't think he should. Because it could theoretically
Well, I don't think-
be one big ass coup de burst, and they could be like,
Well,
oh,
no. So this is the other thing too, right? He could do the same thing that was going on when Luffy and half of the crew are sailing to Whole Cake. And it's like, yep, they're sailing to Whole Cake. Let's cut to something else. And so, like, now we get to see what's going on in Marijois. To make it like, hey, Akainu is destroying everything because of this thing. And it'll give us context as like time kind of moves in a direction. I also like the fact too, I had this like idea. So they like take the long way to get there, but like they save the kids, but like now what? We can't just escape. Like these things are after us, and we did the best we can, but like there's no hope. And that's when Vivi shows up, and Emu goes, Lily, and she goes, bye, and then she Pawpaw fruits everybody out of there. And honestly, that's kind of hype too. So
No, I fuck with it. I did want to ask you because when we talked about Scopper, we both like we wanted the power to stay within the power structure we've had so far, and I think this chapter did kind of. He didn't outright say it, but again, this chapter felt like really strong character, really strong hockey, and that's what fucked up Summers. Emu seems to be operating on just an entirely different plane, which I always do my best to avoid sounding like a hypocrite. I make mad exceptions for final villains because it works with exactly final villains. If you have some super secret power that puts you above the rest of the world, I'm okay with it, and I'm okay with it even being like semi-vague. Keep throwing out Naruto comps. It's why I really never had an issue with Madara power scaling people out of the fucking planet, because it was like, okay, you had told me he was crazy from day one. I didn't really know why he was crazy, but then you got to demonstrate it in the way that he fought, and he was just doing things that nobody of this generation could even come close to. But I was like, I was cool with it because it was exactly at that time I thought the final villain. And I was like, yeah, he should be, if anyone gets to hit the I can do bullshit and you kind of have to deal with it, is the final villain. So if Emu has bullshit, I'm not totally against it. But it does seem like whatever is Emu's power, which the only thing we can officially say right now is some kind of teleportation with the circles and immortality, which is a power that is not of this world and nobody else can seem to do. Are we cool with that when it comes to, like, Emu specifically?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Like
Emu could have the bullshit powers, but it would feel almost explainable because Emu sits on top of the world. Like, they could do whatever.
I was gonna say, as long as it kind of fits in like the One Piece vibe, like that's my thing. If you go like, anyway, he has like a tailed beast inside of him, and he does things. I'd be like, that's odd. Like, hey, you know who I think is attacking Mary Geoise? I just had this little premonition too. I think it's Impel Down being led by Doflamingo. Because Impel Down is pretty fucking close.
That would be cool. That's one of those, like, if you put it in front of me, I'd be like, I can't bet on that. But it's like, you ever seen like horse races? Like, it's the one horse who's like fucking 3,000 to 1 odds, and you're like, okay, I know it's a terrible bet. He's not gonna fucking win. But if he did, man,
yeah,
the amount of cool shit. Doflamingo has to come back. Like,
I agree. Cool. I also don't know how this lines up timeline wise. Did it take them a week to get to Elbaf? I don't remember.
I think so, but I could be off. But again, it's all explainable if time's funky.
I was gonna say also, if it took a week to get there, that totally works. Because Impel Down, you go through the doors, and then now you're at Marineford, which is like right there. And we know that Luffy was able to get to Marineford. We know Ace was able to get from Impel Down to Marineford, which is at the base of the Red Line.
Yeah.
Right? Right? Or am I thinking, is Sabaody the base of the Red Line?
No, Sabaody is right before the New World.
No. Yeah, Sabaody's at the base of the Red Line. But I think...
Yeah, because they're both close.
Oh, but
you could send
here we go.
Admirals. That's why Kizaru got there so fast.
Yeah. They are. Yeah, it is close to Marineford. So you impel down to Marineford to the Red Line, and then scale it because you have Magellan with you, and now they're there. Like. You think they can do that in a week? Has it been a week?
I don't know.
Since
time's funny. If time is funny, there's technically everybody
with time not being funny. I'm just trying to remember how long it took them to get from Egghead to Elbaf.
If time's not funny, I don't know who the fuck's there. Besides a revolt, exactly. Because, again, the revolutionaries wouldn't be fully recovered, and I don't think they would charge in unless Sabo was healthy. I know there's a million fan theories that Dragon could solo the whole world, but until I see that, I'm not willing to go there. So I'm going to bank on Dragon is cautious and is like, I'm not going to launch the war if my second in command, potentially the strongest fighter we have in the Revolutionary Army, is not good to go. Impel Down would also be weird if time's not funny because, yes, it would take them, I think, more time than they could. Now, because the interesting one is, well, who's that fast, though? Because Kuma did it relatively fast, but that's because of his fruit. He just shot himself up, and I think he did, he slammed into it, but took him about 2 shoots up with his fruit to scale it. Potentially a revolt because there is a hunger there is starvation going on because there's not enough food. I hit this fucking refresh button every like 5 minutes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this Chuck chapter needs to drop. It'd be interesting. There's if time's funny, the whole world's a possibility. If time's not funny, I am struggling. Cause if time's not funny, who actually does make sense, as stupid as it is? And it kind of goes with your Impel Down theory. This could be how we get Weeble back in the story. Because what the
We will
fuck's
wobble, baby.
Yeah, what the fuck's Impel Down gonna do with him? Like, he breaks Impel Down.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And we know in this world's in the real world timeline, Weeble got arrested a few weeks ago. So he would have had time if it was going to, because Green Bull, which is it's a cliche, but it's like, we got him, I'll just turn my back because I know nothing can go wrong. So like Green Bull went and got his ass, threw him on the ship, and was like, yeah, he's fine, I don't have to worry about him anymore. It's not like our introduction was he flipped over an armada.
Sorry, I'm like deep diving. It has been 2 days. Before they get to Elbaf, it was 2 days since leaving Egghead.
Okay.
And that's when Nami and half the crew disappear. And so they get on Elbaf. It's 2 days between the end of Egghead and current. Well, yeah, at the start of Elbaf. We don't know if there's like a time delay. But we do know that Magellan and Doflamingo are friends.
Yeah, like.
So this I'm kind of fucking down if time runs a little slower on Elbaf. Let's say it's been maybe a week, 4 days. Let's say 4 days. We'll do the 1 day to 2 day thing once you're in the Elbaf space. I mean, they can easily get to Marijois.
Yeah. No, it's. I'm curious.
Sorry, yo. I didn't mean to derail this.
No. I'm interested in who's actually allowed to fight in Marijois. Because I'm of the mindset. I don't think all of the celestial dragons know exactly what the Gorosei are. I don't think it's common knowledge that it's like, oh yeah, we have basically 5 demons at the top of the world. Theoretically, none of them know Emu.
Mm-hmm.
They are aware of the Holy Knights because the hunting games have gone on forever, and so they know there's like Garling would not be. Garling could show up, cut people, and that would be like, okay, cool, it's Garling. Shamrock.
I think they're aware of the Gorosei, but only that the Goro, because everybody below Marijois is aware of the Gorosei.
Yeah, they know. I don't think they know the transformation side.
Oh no! I don't think so either. I think they're just the 5 elders that rule the world.
Yeah.
To everybody.
Yeah.
And the Holy Knights are known only in Marijois for the most part. Mm-hmm. Because it's the heads of families.
Yeah.
So, well, not the heads of families, but like
an appointed member.
I still think it's an appointed member from the families. Yeah. If you show that you have Conqueror's Haki, you become a
Holy Knight. Yeah.
Which is why I'm like the fallen Holy Knight going back to Marijois. He had the fucking fallen king. Give me more Doflamingo. The promised son returns home to fuck shit up with his new poison friend that shits 18 hours a day.
Holy fuck! I didn't.
He's like a better snot man.
Oh no, 1000%. What if I'm gonna throw another character that we don't see do anything? What if it's Shanks?
It could be Shanks. it could be Shanks.
What a perfect reason to call exactly Shamrock back.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Yeah.
Your brother's being a dick. Like, so you'd have Shamrock, Akainu. I forget where Fujitora is. Green Bull's unknown because the last thing we know is him arresting Weeble and we didn't get an update.
I thought Fujitora was still in. Maybe he isn't in Marijois. I thought he was.
I think
that was the last time I think we saw him. He was there during the Reverie.
Yeah, and the Revolutionaries attacking. I just don't know if he's left because Green Bull left, so I kind of assumed he did because Green Bull left to go arrest.
That's true.
So,
and then sidelined to go be a little racist to the Japanese.
You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Hey, it was on the way.
Fujitora, who doesn't really like to be there anyway, like he I don't know what the fuck Fujitora's goal is. He likes being an admiral, but he also hates everybody. So
I think he wants to make the world a better place, but he's like, the systems that are in place are not good, and that's why he wanted to get rid of the warlords. Mm-hmm. That was one of the reasons why he was like, I want to abolish the warlords because they're really bad. Yeah.
So he theoretically could be either or. Now again, he is also very chaotic when he fights. So
yeah,
the idea of him, Akainu, Shamrock against the Red Hair Pirates, you still get this very destructive, chaotic thing. Shanks could be a player. Shanks moves. Like technically, time not being funny, every other emperor is in play. Now, Crossguild, they don't think it makes a lot of sense. They're not really aggressive. Blackbeard being around to your earlier point does make sense. Like, even if, like, what if Blackbeard just kind of sees from a distance and goes, "Hey, yo, Emu, I could help you, but you know what I want if I help you? That island over there, I need some rights. I want a flag. I got a flag, and I want to be a real kingdom. So you give me that, I could help you with whoever the fuck's invading, doing all this shit. Don't worry, I got him. Like, so both Red Hair, and that's where my mind is. It could absolutely be Shanks. If time's not funny, Shanks, Blackbeard, Weeble / Impel Down. If time is funny, they might have just started the final war without us. Like, it's they could have, everybody could have fucking convened on Marijois, and it's like, it also,
I think we've been setting up Marijois. I guess we've always assumed that it will be like the end of the show, but like the final battle doesn't necessarily have to be there, right? It could be like a sea battle because we do know that the oceans are rising. And so this could be a catalyst for that to get accelerated even more. And we also know that like 2 of Luffy's allies, their entire islands are ships, right? Water 7 and Thriller Bark are both ships. So we've said too, the one thing One Piece is lacking for a pirate story is there have been 0 sea battles.
Law got kind of close.
Law kind of did. I mean, Bartolomeo was on a boat. Kid was also on a boat. But I think that I think it would be an interesting like pivot to go, hey, Marijois isn't the ending. Marijois is the second linchpin, right?
Yeah.
Like, Egghead was the start of it all. Egghead was handing the grenade, but Marijois was the pulling of the grenade. And the destruction of, like, the Celestial Dragon's home is the next crazy thing. Because it's been under siege technically since Reverie, which was like, I get what in real time in the story, it's been like a few weeks.
Yeah, I'll say 3 weeks to a month max.
Yeah.
And this is a really simple, stupid answer, and so I'm gonna throw this one in just the Oda does simple, stupid a lot. It could just dead ass to the revolt point. Everybody just heard Vegapunk go, "Ayo, this shit's about to go up. Fucking oceans rise. Ayo, all this going, everything you thought you knew is fucked up." And everybody could just be like, "Okay, so
we're running to the red line."
Yeah, you book it for the red line. You go to Mary Joie. Who gives a fuck if they're nobles? We're all gonna die. Like, I don't give a fuck about your class system. If it's, you know, I don't watch a ton of movies, but any like end of the world scenario where people are like trying to be like, oh, let's all get on trains, let's all get on like trying to load people up, and people are chaotic. Yeah. It's like, yeah, because I don't give a fuck if the world's ending. Everything else goes out the window. So if it's just the world's ending and everybody is charging the red line, and again, the Admiral's defending you, the Gorosei defending you, it's this real big chaotic mess, and until they can reestablish order and go, Vegapunk was full of shit, this is how the world works, you're not dying, blah, 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 blah. And that's something, too, that would make Imu actually have to go, hey, I will step out for my spot, and I will do it through somebody, because, again, Imu doesn't want to be seen. But if it does, if it's, you know, enacts its power through Gunko to not only finish off Elbath, but theoretically that same kind of concept they think they could do at Mary Joie to restore order, because the world is as fucked up as it has been the last 1,000 years since we had, theoretically, the world wasn't even this fucked up when Roger's a dick, but it wasn't this fucked up when Roger did it, because the Roger pirates learned all this and went, well, I ain't gonna fucking tell nobody. Like, I can't save it. It's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like, it's just gonna make more chaos. I'm dying with this secret. And so, this is the most chaotic the world has been since the last time we had Nika.
Yeah.
I get so fucked up with One Piece terminology sometimes. I'm like, Nika, Joy Boy, Roger, and Luffy are all 4 different characters doing the same thing. Roger's just a guy. Nika's the actual deity. Joy Boy's a pirate. And Luffy's just 19.
He's just a pirate also. Yeah.
Yeah, like Luffy's just...
Yeah. Yeah, if anything of the 4 people you said, Roger is a nobody, technically.
He is.
In the 4 that you mentioned, because he has no ties to any of them. No, Roger could have been... This is my thing also. The idea of a Joy Boy. And, like, Roger could have been Nika.
Yeah.
Roger could have been a Joy Boy. In the same way that, like, Nolan, all the way back in Skypiea, could have been. He could have gotten the rubber fruit if he and triggered it, right? The idea of, like, I want to be the most free.
Yeah.
And I just want to see the world for what it is, right? But that wasn't the case. It wasn't time.
It's been...
I'm holding on to Impel Down has invaded Mary Joie. I think that's so hype. And then you have Fujitora in a rematch against Doflamingo, and then Magellan is fighting Akainu. And so it's just poison and fire and, you know, everything's looking a lot like Punk Hazard was.
No, that shit is... There's a lot.
Maybe even Fujitora is not there, so it's like... Yeah, Doflamingo is popping off against, like, other Holy Knights and stuff, and, like I said, the Promised Son has returned home, and he's gonna fuck things up.
No, there's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. You know how old One Piece is? So someone, and I've been, by the way, because I'm going to start including this in all the episodes. We want to react to what people are saying. We want you guys to feel involved, that your voice means something.
Before we get into it, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, okay?
Perfect. I got to piss too.
Great.
I'm jealous of your chair, though. You got the shit with the fucking next one.
All right.
I am jealous of your chair. You have the fucking neck support.
Oh, yeah, dude. Do I use it? No. Well, I guess I do. When I sit back like this, I do. I also have a footrest that's connected to my chair. It's pretty nice.
I got a mesh one.
My posture's shit.
I wish I had one. I need to buy one, especially just when you're tall. Shit helps a fuck ton. So to really quick before we went to go piss. One Piece is so long. So someone, and I've been replying again. I've been replying to comments. I want you guys to feel involved. Genuinely appreciate it. And this person who've been having kind of some back and forth, talking about. Oh, so last one was, does Oda even know why Shanks lost his body? And this person, Ronin66, was like, Oda's he's 1000% retroactively writing things in. And I'm like, well, yeah, he started the story back in 97. He did not have all these characters. And he's like, I wonder what the original endpoint was. I'm like, I think the rumor is, and it's been reported, that Alabasta was the theoretical end game or the template for the original ending of One Piece as it was first started. And he's like, man, I felt like it was just getting started. I'm just like, damn, like, I don't think this next generation will understand it a lot more. Most stories in manga end after, if they get to 300 chapters, that's pretty much you're either in the final or you're about to be there.
Yeah.
Our generation we thought, oh yeah, everybody just writes 600-700 fucking 1,000-page fucking master classes, and it's like, no, people want to do other things with their life. They want to write their story, get it out there,
manga
bounce.
Manga doesn't need to be 1,200 chapters long. I mean, My Hero Academia is probably on the longer end of New Age content, and that was 430 chapters.
Yes. Let's see here. Let's see. These ones are all people being nice. The last two, I'm gonna go back. Where's the one I sent you? Because these people are being nice. So, here we go. Okay. So we put out one, and it was around power level, and this was a Matt themed clip. And Matt was basically talking about, like, yeah, Luffy's strong as fuck. He's on the ceiling. We know he can do this, that, and the third. But that's kind of boring. I want to see the rest of the crew do stuff, too. I don't want to lose my cast of characters, essentially. I think 1,000% valid. I'm like, yeah, I feel you. And One Piece has always had a good job of keeping its characters all relevant.
Yeah.
The internet does not agree, though. Shocking. So, the internet, I'm not going to name out everyone's names because it's just going to lead to other things. First comment, that's like saying Goku is capped out right now because he can't fully utilize UI. Ultra Instinct. Luffy can't... Oh, here we go. See, this is why I can't say names. Luffy can't way stronger by learning to 100% utilize his DF powers. Nowhere did it state Luffy has reached peak.
Luffy does say that's the top of his power.
Yeah. It's like
I think that I think that, look, I don't think that's a dumb comment. I do think there is a lack of control still with it, with Gear 5. I just think right now Gear 5 is raw. And the fight with Kizaru, it's a little bit more refined. I think also, I think the anime, I just watched that. Someone put out a really nice supercut of the Luffy versus Kizaru fight.
It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's so good. And I was like, honestly, this feels a lot more refined than the Kaido one.
Valid.
And I wouldn't be surprised if I still am going to say this is the top of Luffy's power because there's no reason to state it otherwise, which it was stated in Wano. But if he does go and refine it, you could make a case that, yeah, that is him getting stronger. He's refining this crazy thing. I don't know Ultra Instinct. I can't speak to it, but
I can. It's not a. So that's just that person I could tell is just an anime watcher, which I get. I don't progress. Dragon Ball is a way more popular anime than is a manga. Totally get it. Goku just can't be in that form forever. He has mastered it. Even at the end of Super, he's mastered it. But it's a form that is not meant for human beings. So it's like Gear 5. There's just a literal time limit, and then he craps out, and his body goes into paralysis because it wasn't made for mortals. It's a form that is supposed to be for an otherworldly being. Which is
and
why...
do these otherworldly beings not get tired?
No, they're in UI.
They just go Ultra... Okay, they're just in Ultra Instinct all the time. I think with all of Luffy's power-ups, he does just get tired after a while. So I don't think that'll be the idea of refining it is he can stay in Gear 5 for indefinitely. I just think that it becomes a little bit more controlled, a little less chaotic. And I could totally see Oda being like, nah, homie, I told you straight up, this is the strong as he gets. Yeah. And the world, and now we're just telling story. We don't have to worry about power level.
Next comment, mastery of G5, better use of Future Sight. Luffy is 19 and not even in his prime. What do you mean he's at the ceiling?
He's playing around on the ceiling. He I don't know what to tell you. I don't. When I say the ceiling, I mean that's the top. That is the tippy top. And he's there. He is one of the, if not the strongest person in the One Piece world right now. He's playing around on the ceiling. He's playing around at the top. If he was 35 and still doing it, then that's cool too.
So
but he's on the ceiling, man.
We're never going to see. There's an argument we'll never see any One Piece character truly in their prime. Oda has weirdly put everybody just slightly too young or slightly too old, where they can still be powerhouses, but he's right. Luffy is 19. We're not going to see 35-year-old Luffy. That's going to be in this in the way I think Oda feels about power levels of like, oh yeah, just imagine it. Okay, he's 35, he's still in peak shape. Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, if he's like a monster in the same way that Roger was a monster towards the end, like I'm like, I mean, the era is going to be Luffy.
Yeah.
Luffy's going to get to write his name all over the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that he's on the ceiling.
And those are used in like either flashbacks or like foretellings. The closest we probably honestly have to a character in this timeline of Luffy's journey being at their peak, there's maybe an argument for Mihawk, and that'd probably be, and I don't remember Mihawk's exact age. He'd be the only one, but like everybody else is, again, the admirals are all late 50s. I think Akainu's in his 60s. Garp, Sengoku obviously old as fuck. All the emperors
I figured they were all like around the same age. Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru are all the same age.
Definitively older by like 2 years.
Okay.
Because there's a when they came up in their little SBS, there's a respect thing for him because his age wise he's like
55.
He's 55. Okay. Pre-time skip or current?
This is the AI overview.
Oh.
Let's see.
He might be
Currently he's 55. Yeah.
Okay, it's 55. Okay, so that means Kizaru's like 54, 53, and now Kiji's in the same rate. But they're 50-year-old men. Like that's not quote unquote your prime physical fighting state. And I don't think we're gonna.
By One Piece standards, though, like Garp is the strongest, and he's
in his 70s.
He's in his 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also say Garp's on the ceiling because it took everyone to handle him.
Absolutely. But no, I'm saying this is like a compliment. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
Look how crazy Garp is at 70. Look how crazy Scopper is at 70. Like, and then
look how crazy Luffy is at 19.
Yeah, and you leave.
That's
to the
and also,
imagination.
Yeah, reader's imagination, and you got to think about it in the context of like the One Piece world, right? Mm-hmm. Luffy disappeared
2 years
for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes back, and 2.5 months breaks the world
again,
or the world breaks 2.5 months after he resurfaces. This is kind of crazy.
If I don't have time. If I can take you like 5 minutes longer than we normally.
No, you're good. Yeah.
This one I loved because I just don't think this person reads the same story. There's always been an issue where Luffy has been too strong. Now, I don't know if I read the same One Piece as I don't think this is. I think this is blatantly false because I read Alabasta and watched him get his ass kicked 3 times. I read Skypiea, where the only reason he won is because he was given literally the world's biggest advantage, and they still dropped him off a cloud, where he was immobilized. I saw Water 7, where he got his ass kicked and had to relearn and teach himself something new before he could fight the current enemy. I saw him against an admiral get his ass. Like, I have seen Luffy get his ass kicked so many times up until this point that it's why I think his power-ups are earned and deserved, because I've seen him struggle through basically everyone. I don't think there's ever been a point in time where Luffy has been quote-unquote too strong.
I don't know about too strong. I will say that Luffy walks through East Blue, and the first time I think he's actually challenged in Alabasta, which is why like it is so jarring. It is so jarring to see him get beat.
Destroyed.
Yeah, and it's meant to be jarring, and then he wins, and then I don't think Skypiea is a challenge with lightning. Like, it just so happens that he like rolled right, and he was like, I'm the perfect counter to lightning. And it's in the swagger when they show up at Jaya. And I think it's Jaya. No, it's not Jaya. It's
where he punches the shit out of Bellamy, right? That's the island.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that Bellamy. Like, at that point he's emulating Shanks in the first chapter, where it's like, it's not worth my time, he's not that strong. And you're like, you're right. Everything up until this point, Luffy has been like, oh yeah, I can handle this. And now he's at a point where he's like, I don't need to handle this because it doesn't matter. You're not even, it turns from like everyone's on my radar to like you're punching above your belt, homie, and you don't even know it. And then we get to Water 7 and Ain's lobby, and then that's where he's like, what the fuck am I doing? These guys are like actually like really strong. Lucci is a monster, so I'm gonna copy what Lucci does. Yeah. And that's where you get the gears. And then I don't think he struggles until Sabaody, where he gets like blasted off. Like, I don't think Thriller Bark's...
Isn't Thriller Bark?
I don't think that's a struggle.
See,
I think that, and it's in the swagger when they show up, right? Like, there's a swagger to it, and as soon as like the crew very much, it's like once they lock in, they like easily take out Oars, and then Luffy just goes, I'm just gonna do crazy shit to my body and win, and he does. And like, I guess like after Skypiea you get the Aokiji stuff too, and I think that just kind of foreshadows the fact that like
that I don't hold against him.
I don't hold that against.
He was just in a different weight class altogether. Like that.
And it kind of like alludes to the fact that you got lucky in Skypiea, like rolling right.
Yeah.
But again, there's that swagger when he shows up of like, kind of strong.
Heck, fuck this guy.
Like I think it's why he was so fucking annoyed with Caesar. Because he was like, Caesar just takes the air out of the room. So he's like, I'm going to like stretch my head so I can breathe and then beat the shit out of this clown. So to speak. But yeah, no, I think there is some merit to that comment. I just don't. I don't know. I think like at this point in the story, you gotta. It's not a surprise, you know, at 1200, chapter 1200.
Luffy Rumble Ball Gear 5. Now, this comment not a lot to talk about.
Sick as fuck.
Yeah, I'm like...
Sick as fuck.
I'm with you, man. Yeah, let's give Luffy some drugs.
Let's give Rumble Ball to literally anyone other than Chopper and see what happens. Give it to Brook.
Jesus. The crew still has places to grow. We are on the final saga, not the final arc yet. Now, you did some...
I agree to this a lot. I think if Elbaf goes the way I think it's going to go, where it is setting up Ain's Lobby 2.0 and Marijois, mm-hmm. I think there's going to be a moment where they need to fix their stuff. They're on Warrior Island, so they are going to learn like what it means to be a warrior in that time where the Giants get to like bring their things together to go off. No, so like there is going to be a bit of time before they can head out. So I think we'll get a power up for some of the crew this arc, if not all of the crew.
That's valid. And we'll end with Matt's favorite comment. Holy Knights are not Admiral level. It's just their immortality. That's a
You're
wild
right.
fucking statement. Mind you,
they
Dragon
aren't
Ball is the most obscene power scaling in the fucking universe, and Frieza and Vegeta both go, the only fucking thing I want the first half of the show is to be immortal. In the strongest universe in existence, they're like, you know what fucking wins? Being immortal. And every admiral would wash St. Summers in a fight.
I
don't
agree.
think that's true.
I think every admiral besides Green Bull would wash Summers.
How?
How?
Like, if he's immortal, do we think their hockey? Because the admirals are weird. Because the admirals don't flex. The Navy in general doesn't flex hockey like pirates because they're in a structure, so their willpower is restrained. I don't want to call them weak hockey users. They're obviously not,
I'm not saying it's not going to be a fight. I just don't think Summers is the shit. So
for Matt's case, would the admirals versus Killingham?
Admirals versus Killingham, that's a hard fight because Killingham's actually a monster.
I love it here.
Summers makes things pokey. Go make the fucking moon pokey when I launch you into space with my gravity, you stupid fuck. Oh, I make things pokey. I melt you. Oh, I make things pokey. I freeze you from the inside out. Figure that one out, dipshit. Here's my spike bat. I'm light. I'm not saying he wouldn't put up a fight. After all, I think he has Conqueror's hockey, right?
Killingham or Summers?
Summers.
I'm gonna just.
I'm on the. I think honestly, I think
endgame character as Conqueror's hockey.
I think Killingham is easily admiral level. Like, I don't even think it's close. I think Killingham washes his hands with Green Bull. I make a forest. You're afraid of fire? Okay. Boom. Like, your nightmares are here.
Killingham, I forgot to mention this. Killingham's a Pokemon. Killingham used Sleep Talk this chapter. He pulled out a bow. Where'd the bow come from? Can he pull shit out of his own fucking dreams?
100% he can.
So he's using fucking Sleep Talk.
He's fucking cool. Killingham, I'm like, him going Great Emu is such an insult to how awesome he is. He should be the one running things. I don't even care that he's racist. Like, seriously.
There's like a cool.
There's always a good one.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna hit refresh one last time before we leave. It's gonna piss me off. I know it's gonna happen. It's gonna fucking happen. No, it's down to 49. Okay, cool.
Great.
Man. That was good time. Appreciate everything though. Seriously, we are gonna react to comments every single week. So we will have. Feel free to comment. Feel free to keep watching. Feel free to keep responding. Appreciate it tremendously. There's always a good one.
Let me know if you like Killingham and why you think Summers is a bitch.
Is Killingham cooler than Shamrock?
Oh, 100%. Shamrock is the knockoff twin. He's evil fuck. He's an evil fucking twin. He can go die.
But he's a good guy. Kind of. Who's a good guy between him and Shanks? Is there technically
probably Shanks. I'd say Shanks.
Shanks.
Shamrock says drops a hard R.
Ooh, yeah.
Shanks gets he can say it, but only if he says it with an A.
True.
Like, he gets a pass.
Someone said, and this was actually a smart comment. Someone said Shanks.
This podcast's done, by the way, right? You're just recording for posterity's sake.
They said Shanks lost his arm just to show Luffy it's real outside. Like, yo, the sea is scary, and I'm like, I don't hate that for some reason. He's just like, yeah, man, it's dangerous out here. I'm gonna let a random fucking sea creature just gnaw my fucking arm off, and I'm like, Oda would do that. Oda would everybody will put out these grand Harvard level theories that they got together with their friends and like studied for fucking 20 hours, and Oda's just like, I wanted to draw one less arm on the guy, so fuck it. I took his arm.
I still like the idea he just had an off day. That's how come like the dude threw a smoke bomb and he goes, "Fuck, where is he?"
Yeah, right. Like, he's like,
Like,
God,
shit.
forget about that.
The guy threw a smoke bomb, goes out to sea, and Shanks is like, "I am the worst fucking emperor. What am I thinking right now?"
Observation hockey just didn't work. It wasn't invented back then. In his defense, it was not invented yet. He's like, all I got is my eyes. Oh man. Appreciate everybody for listening and watching. As always, don't forget, there's always one good one, and we will see you guys next Friday morning.
See you, dudes.